Hi, I'm Dr. Hisham, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Natural Toothpaste Paradox. I know, it's a very interesting title because the paradox is actually the paradox. The oxymoron of something called a toothpaste that then is called natural. Because how I define the word natural when I come to speak about it, when I come to use it on a label or sell something to people, is it's natural in effect to you, the person, the user. Natural in harmonizing, natural in balancing, natural in replacing, natural in replenishing, something that is naturally the way that your body works to help you stay healthy and get better, versus something that is just natural in source, which, like I say in all my other videos, everything's natural in source, including lead and arsenic and bromine and chlorine. Everything basically is natural in source. However, the natural effect is the question, because natural in source, as a lot of these so-called natural toothpastes call themselves or market themselves as are not really natural in effect. And many of them are not even really that natural in source in the first place. So let me not just talk about it, let me just show you that. I'll show you some clear examples. We won't be talking about specific brands because it's right across the board. I have quite a few here, but by no means can I encompass all the brands out there because everybody makes a toothpaste these days. Every company, every individual, every so-called natural healthcare company, small, big, every big corporate now that make conventional toothpaste, either own, buy out, or make their own so-called version of natural toothpaste. It's just all over the place. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of it and try to make sense of the science and determine, is natural toothpaste really natural in effect? And is there one that is actually or isn't there? And if it's not, then what else can we use? What is not a toothpaste but does what we should be doing for our mouths, which is cleaning, clearing, harmonizing, balancing, managing bacterial balance, basically, suppressing the bad ones, suppressing the weeds while expressing the grass, the good ones, and of course protecting teeth, protecting oral skin, protecting everything else, as I've spoken about in other videos. If you haven't watched the one about skin, the oral skin, the oral mucosa, please do watch that. It is a very important thing to understand, and I hope you really get that one. So the main thing that most so-called natural toothpastes claim for themselves to be unique, well, toothpaste don't do anything, they don't claim anything. It's the people who make them, and usually there's no face or name to most of those companies, just like in the corporates. Most companies, I don't know if they don't put a name on it. Nobody stands up and speaks about it as a person. It's all just hidden behind press releases and marketing tags and websites and everything else. But you never know who is really behind it, who's responsible for it. One that really puts the name, which is why I didn't cover it, is Dr. Hoshka. A very good and respectable brand all around the world. I don't know if Dr. Hoshka is a real person. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is it a she? Is it a he? I have no idea. So I'm not investigated that. I'm not challenging that at all. But at least it does have a person's name. Hopefully it is real, and that's my expectation, is that it is a real person. And he did develop a line of products, and obviously it's been taken on as a big corporate now, and it actually, they make their own stuff, I'm sure, without his or her involvement, if they are still alive. At least that's one good thing. But all the others are just names of a brand. But CEOs come, CEOs go, employees come, employees go, chemists come, chemists go. The stuff just gets sold and marketed, and shareholders obviously want higher and bigger sales and revenues. Yet, who is responsible ultimately to deliver an honest, authentic message to the people and stand up and speak up properly and to innovate? Because here's how I define intelligent innovation. Intelligent innovation is using our imagination and using our intent to make better, to develop new intelligence, new knowledge. Obviously, it's built on old knowledge. Of course, we've got to have some base to build upon, but intelligence is putting that knowledge together with a better intent to create something new, create something not just different for the sake of being different, but something truly better, truly unique. And that's why I went out and created a serum and alkaline mathrins and these mints, which actually really harmonize and balance everything inside your mouth while being a food supplement. Everything in there is actually a food and nutrition supplement. The dental vitamins, vitamin D3 and vitamin K2, which are essential not just for teeth and gums, but everything else inside your body as well. And yet they're so deficient in society these days and not included in any so-called oral healthcare product, let alone anything else that I know of that is made around that scene. Yes, there are supplements that you can swallow, which is very good, but nothing that you can put inside your mouth that contain these essential vitamins, basically. So regardless of whether it's a health supplement as well as a cleaning and protecting product and all these things or not, when I come to talk about the mints, for example, this is not a toothpaste or anything like that, these are little mints. These, you can take them all day long, as often as you want, to rebalance inside your mouth. Obviously not a whole pack a day, that's too much. But if you're sick, if you have high risk of tooth decay, of gum disease, of sore throat or whatever, then you take more of it and it's going to help you. It's not going to cure all your diseases. It helps you balance back. It helps your body overcome everything. Versus using, and sadly, heavily sold, I'm not even going to mention the brand, but you would know what these things are, sugar lollibombs. And there's many within this brand and many other brands like it that are sold in supermarkets as well as pharmacies, and unfortunately in some doctors' offices. And some doctors even recommend and use these things themselves when you are sick. When you have a sore throat, the last thing you want to do is use a sugar bomb, a sugar lolly bomb, sell to you as a health product, a health supplement basically. It's not a medication or a drug. None of these things are medications or drugs, so that's why we're talking about this. And it's not actually real, like food, but it's supposed to be food ingredients that help you become healthier. Well, if that's being sold in health food stores and pharmacies and some doctors, like I said, how's that innovation to actually just go and make a different one? Same thing with the toothpastes. So one of the main claims of these so-called natural toothpaste is that it doesn't contain fluoride. And while I agree with that, there's no need for fluoride at all. It's never been part of the human body, human physiology and human biochemistry. What else is in there? What else is not there? Are they really that different to all these other so-called conventional toothpaste that they themselves speak against, or is it just another toothpaste with slightly different variations? Let's look at that in a bit more detail, and I'll read out some of the ingredients and show you which ones are of high concern that are common across all of them, which ones are in a few of them, and mainly, the reason why I'm doing this is for you to be informed, for you to go and read and understand and research. I mean, all what I'm saying is available knowledge. It's not my knowledge, it's our knowledge. It's our common intelligence that we're talking about here as human beings, and there's a lot of research about all these things, and more is coming out. Because remember, science is never settled. We're always creating more science because we are innately in need of evolving. The question is, which science are we doing? Which one do we believe in? Who's paying for it? Which one are we applying? Which combinations of science and what conclusions are we deriving from it? And ultimately, of course, what are we led to believe as consumers and as healthcare professionals that is to be the truth? Whether we think about it or just believe it, that's a question that I leave up to you. So, a very common conventional toothpaste right here. One of the most common toothpastes in New Zealand that is claimed to be natural and actually made in New Zealand. I won't mention the brand, it says baking soda on it. You can see straight away they don't look really that different because they are not that different. And I'll tell you exactly why in a second. This is another one, looks a little bit different, that's good. It doesn't have the white titanium dioxide in it because both of these have titanium dioxide. If a paste looks white, it has titanium dioxide. Just take that as a guaranteed, unless they're using zinc oxide, which is a little bit different, but not that good for daily consumption. Zinc is okay, not in high doses, but it's very good, it's very important to consume, but not zinc oxide to be consumed internally. But titanium dioxide is known and really, I mean, it's been questionable for a long time, but now it's known to be a carcinogenic. It shouldn't be used every day. So, I'm not gonna open all of them right now, but let's just use this one here. This is a very expensive toothpaste from the US. I obviously buy all these things to test them out and check them out and see what's good and what's different about them. They don't really look that different, except that this one here doesn't have titanium dioxide, which is a good thing, by the way. That's one good thing in its favor. However, what else is common in between them? They're all gritty. If you put that on a glass, you'll feel the grit. As you see in the other videos, if you take these on your skin, or even just like that, you'll feel the grit. All of them are very gritty. Why are they gritty? Because that's by definition what a toothpaste is. A toothpaste has to have abrasives, and the most two common abrasives, and they're usually in combination, are calcium carbonate, chalk. That's not a source of calcium for your teeth or your bones inside your mouth because it doesn't dissolve in water. It is an abrasive. It's added in there as an abrasive. It is an abrasive. It does not dissolve in water. Everything that I have in my products is water soluble. All the minerals that are in there are water soluble. Of course, there are things that are fat soluble. That's why we have oils and fats as a third of this product, oils and fats and fat soluble ingredients. That's a whole different story. So back to this here. So abrasives, calcium carbonate and silica, hydrated silica. Both of these two things are abrasive. Now, they're not toxic per se. It's not toxic to swallow calcium carbonate or even silica, although those little silica sachets that even I have in here to keep things dry, it says do not swallow. Like, oh, throw it away. But yet it's exactly the same silica, hydrated silica, put it into these toothpastes. Now, I'm not saying it's toxic. Silica by default is not toxic. It's an abrasive. And abrasives should not be used on any part of the skin or even teeth on a daily basis. Abrasives don't clean teeth. Toothbrush, a soft toothbrush, and a substance on the brush that will help you unstick the sticky dirt that's on your teeth. The plaque is how you clean your teeth. It's not the abrasive, and there's research and evidence about this. So abrasives are bad, whether they're calcium carbonate or silica, and it's in all of these. And I can read some of them, and I will read some of them, but you can obviously read them by yourself and check what toothpaste you're using. So obviously you can see, like if you just take any of these, this one, again, abrasive, or you can put them between your teeth. And if you do that with your teeth or your back teeth, you can hear and feel the grit. It's very, very gritty. If I put it in water, the very natural toothpaste, it doesn't really dissolve. And even that wet stuff in the water is very gritty. I can feel it. Obviously, you can't see or feel what I feel through the video, but you can do this yourself. It's a very easy test to do at home. This is how you evaluate your toothpaste. Grit. It doesn't dissolve. Versus if you put the serum in water, the oils will not dissolve, but any mineral that's in there that's already pre-dissolved in ozonated water will dissolve very quickly. So there's absolutely no grit. Even if you felt something as a serum that's still as a undissolved mineral in there because of the oil content, some of that mineral just gets held up in the oils and not dissolve fully. The minute you put it inside your mouth, inside your saliva or water, it's immediately soluble. That's by intention and by design. That's what I meant by innovation and design, rather than just copying something, adding something, a little one thing, taking away another little thing and calling it a new product when it's actually pretty much the same. Obviously, the ingredients must be listed by law, and that's a very good thing, but some of them tell you what's in there. So like this one says, with calcium, contains calcium carbonate for cleaner, whiter teeth. So with calcium, that's true, but with calcium to clean teeth, this is not the calcium that cleans teeth. Abrasives don't clean teeth. Toothbrushing with a soft brush, and I'll talk about brushes in another video, is what cleans teeth. Calcium is needed for the teeth to remineralize teeth, but when it doesn't dissolve in water, as in calcium carbonate, that's not really calcium for teeth. So I don't like that. I like the ones that say clearer, that clarify it more, like this one here, which says calcium carbonate, source, chalk, function, natural polisher. Yes, it's a natural polisher, it's a natural abrasive. Polisher is just a softer word. And then, of course, silica, source, mineral, function, natural polisher. Two abrasives, they're common right across all of these, basically, in more or less different quantities. What I don't like about this one, Manuka honey. Now, it's ridiculous, but yes, we do have Manuka honey in a toothpaste. That's sugar in a toothpaste. That is a little bit ridiculous to me as a dentist and as a person who loves biochemistry and understands biology and everything else. This is ridiculous to have honey or any kind of sugar in there. Propolis, which is in this one and in this one here, is a good ingredient in terms of its antibacterial and all that, but it's not something that I would put in a toothpaste because it's very, very sticky. It sticks to teeth, it sticks to everything else and does cause staining. It's more the honey. Honey is not a good ingredient in toothpaste. You shouldn't be brushing your teeth with honey. Of course, sodium lauryl sulfate, from plants? Yes, it is from plants, foaming and cleansing. So this natural toothpaste, as well as this natural toothpaste, like I said, it's one of the most common in New Zealand, sodium lauryl sulfate, soap, detergent, and even the ones that claim not to have sodium lauryl sulfate, which I believe is this one here. This is from the US, not from New Zealand. This one has, oh no, it has sodium lauryl sulfate. So they all have the same soapy foaming detergent, sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, which we know is not good for us, especially not for the oral mucosa, as I've spoken about in the other video. And even the ones, some of them don't have sodium lauryl sulfate. It says no SLS. What else do you have? Do you have a foaming agent? Yes. If they have a foaming agent, that's just as bad as SLS anyway. We are not supposed to eat or consume foaming detergents or put them on a delicate mucosa. All foaming detergents are irritants. Just look them up in dermatology research, in allergy research. That's what they put on your skin to cause an irritation, to test an allergic reaction. So why are we using any foaming in our mats? Just to mask and give, well, the natural guys are trying to copy what the conventional guys are doing. That's all they're doing, basically, just a copy, basically. But nobody's thinking about it, like, why are we there? Oh, just to give people the feel of cleanliness. It's actually to give you that cheat feeling that, oh yeah, I have one in my mouth, I've cleaned my teeth. That's absolutely nonsense. I know professors and I know many people who clean their mouths just with a toothbrush and water, and they're fine. I don't recommend that, to just do that by itself, because there's a lot more stuff that we get exposed to on a daily basis that we need to balance back and fight against and replenish. However, cleaning, and it's also in the research, cleaning of teeth is not done by the foam or the abrasives. It's done by proper brushing. And I will show you that, and I will talk to you about how to select your toothbrush in another video. When we show them how to clean their teeth, we don't show them that with anything other than the toothbrush itself, because then you can see and you can feel. And then you add to it something that helps heal and cleanse. That's fine, but it should be natural in effect. It shouldn't be working against saliva, abrading teeth, abrading gums, irritating skin, and so on and so forth. Here's how I want you to evaluate your toothpaste. First of all, even before you read the ingredients, what you have at home basically, of course, if you're going to buy a new one, I want you to read the ingredients first and analyze them and think about them. We'll come back to that in 1 second. But first of all, whatever you have at home now, just put it out on a piece of paper, or just put it straight on your skin, on your fingers, and like I showed you just a minute before, try it on your fingers. Is it gritty? Is it gritty? And is it sticky? And you can put it between your teeth as well and just crunch on it and see and feel the grittiness. Versus, is it more like natural human saliva, more like what we actually naturally in our bodies produce, and without grit, and with beautiful healing oils and vitamins and everything else that's good, which is why we call this a serum. We never make a toothpaste and never will make a toothpaste. So natural or unnatural, you can tell that I'm not really very fond of simply putting a word out there without giving it true and honest and authentic meaning. So that's the first test, just the grittiness of it, and of course, put it under water. Does it foam and does it become soapy? And if you've been using one already, you know what I'm talking about. How does it feel inside your mouth? And if it feels like it's burning or changing your taste, because sodium lauryl sulfate and all these other surfactants like it, they change the taste. The research, evidence, just try it yourself. You just put it in your mouth and it immediately changes your taste. You can't taste certain foods for a period after. Very sticky. You can see very, very sticky stuff. I don't like this at all. Toothpaste in general. And of course, there's different levels of the grit. So we've got from whitening toothpaste that are super, super gritty and very horrible, to other ones which claim to be natural yet just as gritty, to less gritty ones, and so on and so forth. My point is, no grit is better. Avoid the grit, avoid the silica and the calcium carbonate. Go for soluble calcium phosphate, calcium glycerol phosphate, non-hydroxyapatite,